my book?
Hey, we are
yelling at my wife.
Episode 325. Good job, Jono, consummate professional.
All right, everyone, shut the f*** up.
Wheel of Time. Reread podcast. Explicit and R freaking rated. John is the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast.
Oh, hey.
That was new.
Oh, yeah. It's fancy now. Fancy. Hey, you're viewing tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time Reread podcast. Now covering something that's near and dear to Jono's heart and soul. The Wheel of Time Companion. Are we going through an entire encyclopedia of Wheel of Time stuff? The answer is yes. Will we do it all in order? Probably not.
We'll do it. We'll do it now.
Will we do every single entry? Definitely not.
No, that's amazing.
Anyway, with me as always is Jono.
Jono!
And I'm Joe, and sometimes, but mostly, basically all the time now, is Tom.
Still your mouth. I'm always here for doing Wheel of Time.
That's true.
I got to say, before we started talking about doing the companion, you guys were throwing out other ideas that had to do with other properties. And as I was mowing the lawn and listening to a podcast, and Siri would keep telling me what the message said, I was just like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to dip out again for a couple of years, and I'll be back later.
We could do this. We could do that.
So what I love about this, like, we put out a lot of, like, possibly good ideas, but probably not non-Wheel of Time ideas. And then Tom just said, why don't we do the fucking companion? And then, which was like, yes, followed by...
I mean, we kind of joked about that before. I just didn't know how it would work, and I guess we kind of
we'll get to it. But my favorite part was the text about the fact is, especially growing up, and by growing up I mean in my teens, because my penis was growing up. Now it doesn't. I literally every time I do a reread through the first 9-10 books at least, I would read the glossary entries every time. I would, so at the end of every book, and then I liked the comparative of how Rand was this in book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4. And then they kind of just stopped doing that because obviously that's a ridiculous entry. And then Tom's point was, we're finally going to do the fucking glossary like John has always said.
He's trying to get us to do the glossary at the end of every book for the last...
Yes.
Is this...
11 years?
I don't know. Have we gone past that at this point?
Yeah, I think it's 11 now.
All right. I thought it might be...
We're starting our 11?
It's 30 years. Yeah, we're at 30.
It's been 11 years. We're starting our 12th year.
Yes, man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're in year 12. So, yeah, we're finally doing the glossary. And not just the glossary at the end of a book that's 10 pages. We're doing an 820-page glossary.
Which is the glossary at the end of a series.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're
it all
going
makes
to...
sense.
Yeah, we're going to go letter by letter, week by week. Maybe not every week in a row. We might do other things. And then
Today's episode is brought to you by the letter A.
The letter A. And we're going to try to have guests whose names correspond with the letter. So I can't imagine.
That's actually not the reason. We figured that out after our guest was figured out.
You ruined it.
That's not why.
Who's our guest?
It's a happy coincidence.
Hey, we have a special guest tonight, everybody. Long time. I mean, just anytime he wants to be on the show, we're like, absolutely. Also, we ask him all the time. And he turns us down left and right. It's really obnoxious. He's very busy. The busy man. But our guest tonight is Alan Romanczuk, editor of The Wheel of Time, and also standing in his shower in that picture.
And also author of this book. Is it considered author?
Got his name at the bottom of it.
Hey, Alan.
Oh, I'm on.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Well, now you're a little spotty, but sure.
Well, I have to use my my wife's iPad because my computer does not work at all with StreamYard for some reason.
Huh.
Maybe we could go to Zoom next time. FaceTime.
Yeah.
We'll FaceTime you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, consider me your companion for this evening.
Actually, I was texting Amy. I was like, "Hey, send me a picture of Alan holding his companion," and she sent the picture of you in the shower that I just had pulled up. But she also just sent an adorable little picture of you hugging Amy and said, "Here's Alan with his companion," and I was like, "Very funny. Give me a real picture."
This is a business.
I don't have time for this.
You have to be precise when you're putting together an encyclopedia.
That's true.
What encyclopedia was it?
The companion.
Oh,
Why didn't you call it the Wheel of Time Encyclopedia?
Encyclopedia Squatcanica.
I think Tom Doherty wanted to call it the companion.
He's the one. I get it.
He's the one. There was also an encyclopedia way back. Anybody?
Oh, yeah, that's true. The big white book.
The big white book. Of
I-
bad art. No,
So you guys didn't want to get called out for doing 2 encyclopedias, or is it, well, just call it something else?
That's a fascinating idea. Why have we never covered the Big White Book too, which came out between books 7 and 8, Joe?
We'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Alan, I'm sorry, we're
because that
dumping
book
this.
is
We're going to go
horrible.
back one encyclopedia. We're going to that. Sorry.
Next question.
Yeah.
Alan, that was previous to you being on, right? The Big White Book?
Say again. Oh yes. Yeah, I'm not sure how much earlier, but that goes way back. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's deep.
I came on in 2001.
Okay, that probably came out in 98, 99, because it was between books 7 and 8. Because I would always read that in order. Which, by the way, very bad artwork. I don't know if anyone's mentioned that before.
I hope none of the artists are watching tonight. But
There's no chance of that.
Alan, no one's watching.
is anyone watching tonight?
No, we don't
There's
actually.
some lovely people watching. There's Matt Stagger's watching, and he misspelled your name, then felt real bad about it. Here you go. I'm ready for some Alan. Wait a minute. I mean, Alan.
Alan, even LM. What is LM? Is that in the encyclopedia?
That's in the encyclopedia for the Wheel of Time, which is yet to come out.
It's actually a misspelling of your name, but in anagram form.
Anagram? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And, yeah.
There's
How
lots of
long?
people here.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, by the way,
Alan, Alan has been possessed by the voice of Megatron. It sounds like maybe. Do you want to just disconnect and reconnect?
Your voice is a little on and off.
It's all
Oh,
scratchy.
is it? All right.
Yeah.
So I'll disconnect and reconnect.
We'll never see you again, will we?
We'll see you later.
Hang on.
Maybe.
Uh,
Oh, Taffy says hello.
And Alan leaves. That was rude.
Hi, Taffy. While he's doing that,
Well, let's talk about what we're gonna do.
yeah,
Well,
let's talk
first
about
off,
Yeah.
I was going to say we had one of the artists of this book watching today, Joe.
it. Yeah, but not the Big White Book. Alan's back.
That one's back.
Now there's no sound.
no, I'm just kidding. Hey,
Oh,
Yeah.
you son of a bitch.
Come on, Tom. Did you really fall for Alan's amazing joke?
I did.
Is it any
100%.
better? Or
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is better.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Now where were we?
And don't worry, we'll just talk over you the whole time anyway. That's our kind of thing that we do. So, yeah. I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Okay,
Now
now I'm getting an echo.
Oh no. Should I get earbuds?
Yeah, that would work.
Yes. That'll be perfect.
Okay.
All right, Alan's gonna run away, or just beckon Amy.
Do you want me to call her?
Yeah. A is for Amy. That's why we're doing this entry tonight.
It'd be much more fun if he wasn't wearing pants.
No,
Just
Tom.
get the-
To your point, though, we were talking about the companion, and then you. Maybe we should wait till Alan's back for this. But there was an adorable entry that we were like, well, now it's our style. So I guess I'll just go ahead and put it up. We can bring it back when he's back on and ready. We'll bring it back up. But like, Adrian Bunce, Almond Bunce's dead wife, which, I mean, in and of itself, not too insane. But then Tom was like, "Why did they have to say dead? Why did they just say Almond Bunce's wife?"
I just finished a reread about a month and a half ago, maybe, and I was just like, well, and it was like 6:30 in the afternoon. And I was like, well, now what am I going to look at? And so I just grabbed the companion, flipped through it, and that was like one of the first things I saw. And I was just like, man, I'm gonna look through a lot more of this, and I found like 5 more things that I thought were kind of hilarious just in the A's.
Yeah.
We got to shift.
The point is, there's enough material there for us to do our normal thing.
Well, there's funny stuff.
We thought it was worth it.
But there's also like a lot of information in it that's just not in the books. And I guess
or maybe just more concisely said, even. Like, it's just like, this is what this means, dummies. And we're like, oh, they did kind of say that over 8,000 books.
I mean, but there's like backstory for characters that we never knew about. And there's a lot of information in there. So,
and there's also forward story that we don't know about.
I can't believe that I thought it was going to be worthwhile to do and suggested it. Like, if Jono would have suggested this to us, we would have shot it down immediately. No, we're not doing a fucking glossary, man.
It's true. I don't disagree with that at all. And maybe that's why it was, years of being beaten down that finally made me go to other ideas, and you fucked it up and brought this up. Thank you, Tommy Bayer.
I mean, I think it was a good move on his part.
I still won't do a glossary if we go through a book and then get to the end. I'm just gonna like, oh no.
What if Almond Bunce's dead wife is just an entry in every book?
By the way, I'm just backstage. I'm just watching Alan and Amy like walk back and forth in front of the camera, like trying to figure out their
looking for earbuds.
just to give you guys a little bit of an update.
All right, so everybody knows. I guess we're not going to start at the first entry of the A's and go all the way through to the last. Like, we've all like kind of looked through and kind of cherry pick some that we want to talk about, and we'll do that, and then the next week we'll move on to the next letter.
What is the next letter, Tom? If you could give us kind of just a...
I forgot to watch Sesame Street this morning.
Who starts with a B that we should have on next week?
That's a great question.
Almond Bunce.
What if it's very loosely a B and we have Taffy Bennington?
I was gonna say it's not loosely at all. It's her goddamn last name.
Yeah, or
but it's not her first name. But we'll just have her back for T.
Yeah, you can do B and C.
Okay. Wait, Alan's back.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
how are we doing?
That's great.
1,000 times.
Excellent.
All right, well, that's our show this week. Thank you, Alan.
All right, and thanks for being on, Alan. We'll see you later.
You missed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Alan, now that we've got you.
You got me.
So we got you, babe. Tell us a little bit about the companion itself
and how it came to be.
Amy, you mean, or
yeah, the kid, yeah, Amy, yeah,
Amy.
That works for me. Yeah, tell us more about
a little
Amy.
bit more about your wife.
Came to be.
No, how did the companion come to be?
Yes,
is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, the companion is a compilation of glossary notes that just expanded and expanded and expanded. I think back in the very early days, Harriet started putting together what she called an ABC, which is a glossary of main points from the book. And each new book that came along, she added to it. Sometimes, I guess, they appeared in the backs of the books, or parts of them did. And we got to the end of the series, the 14 books, and the idea of doing the companion came up. And I can't remember if that was Tom's idea or Harriet's idea. Tom Doherty being the publisher of Tor.
Oh, not Tom's podcast. Yeah.
I mean, we all know that Tom doesn't do any actual work.
Yeah.
But I do have ideas.
Well,
that's true. You're an idea man.
Idea man. Yeah.
No,
not that Tom. So we started. Oh, and of course Maria had picked up doing an awful lot of the glossary entries along the way through the years, and I threw in a bunch of them too. So we started going through. We not only took the glossary that had expanded quite a bit at that point, but started adding in a lot of new stuff. like the entire Old Tongue glossary is in the companion. Just a lot of stuff. So it took us, I don't know, 3 years or something to finalize the thing.
Wow.
It wasn't the most creative writing, but
I don't know. There's a few things, like one of the things that like we like about the glossary is like some of it is, I don't know if you saw Tom's favorite intro is or favorite entry is just Almond Bunt's dead wife. That's
let's put that up on screen for Alan. This is what made us decide to cover this. That's the whole entry.
uh-huh.
I love that it's the whole entry too.
What's left to say?
Like
she smells. She's decomposing.
Tom was just laughing at the fact that it pointed out she was dead, which I guess is a current status of the character. Yeah. But it's just a hilarious. Like it's not just like, hey, this is his wife. It's like this is his dead wife.
Are you saying that the character wasn't fully developed? Is that what you're getting at?
She closed down. She developed and then finished. For once. But I think that one of the things that's interesting about the companion is that there actually is shit that's in there that's not explicitly from the books, right? Like there are a few things that are pulled out that are different, like that kind of have some finalization, if you will. One of your favorite characters, I think, a gardener from Charleston, is an example from that, and I think that's why it's actually worth kind of just actually looking through it. Right, you can skip what you already know, but to me, I was sitting there reading it, and my wife's kind of a bitch; she can't hear me, and she wanted to know why I was having a dinner, and I was sitting there, I was just like literally just reading through it, and it's just kind of just got me.
Got you. Okay.
Got me. Yeah.
Well, do you want to know about Ajimbora? Is that what you're getting at?
I mean, that's certainly something we need to talk about. I will. Before we dive in there, though, I do want to say most of our listeners / viewers, that's to be debated, but most of them are aware that we're like a very spoiler-heavy show. But in case you're finding us for the first time, and we are doing the companion, which has many spoilers in it. Spoilers for all the books, probably.
Yeah.
Spoiler: Almond Bunt's wife is dead.
Spoiler, by the way. Almond wife's bunt. Almond wife's bunt. Almond wife's bunt. She's a bint.
Yeah.
She is.
But yeah, we spoil things. Also, we say fuck a lot.
Yeah, we just found just going through just the letter A, Alan. I found like a lot of stuff that's just not in the books, period, that I'm guessing came from Jim's notes, or I don't know. I feel like some of this you might have made up yourself, specifically the entry of Ajimbora, how he happened to pass away at the end of the book. You want to throw that on the screen?
Well, yeah. Here, I wanted to show you a picture. Yeah, there it is. I don't know if this is going to work very well, but
well, we'll give it a try.
Give it a try.
I'll give the audience something in the meantime. Oh wait! Oh, look at that. Here, let me make Alan large.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, look at that.
So that's Ajimbora?
Real life Ajimbora.
That's the real life Ajimbora. Right.
Did he actually have a skull cup that he drank out of?
He's not that Weasley looking.
Well,
you didn't
take
see him
a look.
In his
He's not.
No offense to him, I wouldn't have sex with him.
He's in his formal clothes here, but no. If I probably should describe Ajimbora because nobody seems to know who he is. Very few people knew on the book tours, and I think from what is it, Crosswords of Twilight, there was a great description. Ajimbora is still only half civilized, he likes the taste of rat and has a cup made from a human skull. And there's not a lot else to say about him there. He was of course, the dog's body of General Khalid, the Shanshan general.
Yeah.
And he was from a very primitive tribe in the Kansada hills of Shanshan. And he remained very primitive all throughout. He tried to, Khalid tried to kill him 3 times, I think, before hiring him. And he was devoted.
Did Robert Jordan try to kill the gardener 3 times before hiring him?
I wouldn't be
guess that's
surprised.
statute of
I
limitations
wouldn't
is
be
over.
surprised.
Yeah.
We can't talk about that.
But Ajimbora was incredibly devoted to Khalid, and he would do anything for him. And there's not a lot else to be said about him. He's the character, though, that I to my mind, was the most closely associated with a human character who you could identify. You know, you can look at a lot of characters and say, oh, that's a combination of so and so and so and so.
Right, it's a bit of this person, it's a bit of that person.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, which one's me?
But but Kelly was the most spot on that I know of. Now Ajimbora was had long, stringy red hair, dark red hair with gray streaks. He was only 5'6" or 5'7", and he was wiry and had a kind of a rat-like face.
That really checks out. That's exactly what it says in the companion.
I memorized well. Yeah.
Never even met the guy.
And Kelly, the gardener, was he actually fit that description quite well, except that he was about 6'1", but he was very thin. He originally came from a relative of Harriet's who had been using him as a gardener. And when Jim and Harriet bought Harriet's family's home, they needed a lot more help. So they brought on Kelly. And Jim and Harriet had really would take on a lot of people with, how do I put it delicately, who were kind of screwed up in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But almost
that wasn't very delicate
cases. But
They took Alan on.
That's true.
Yeah.
They did take Alan on.
Case in point. But Kelly was one of the early ones, and it would be easy to say that he got really screwed up in Vietnam because he was a Marine in Vietnam. But his transgressions really came long before that. He was involved in I believe a motorcycle accident and a car accident before he even got out of high school. Went to Vietnam, drove a truck all around. He came from a... Say again?
That seems like the wrong thing for him, giving his history of like wrecking vehicles. Like, hey, let's give him a vehicle.
Well, he had his own vehicles, which he also wrecked. The thing is, he came from a Mormon family, and he was what was called a blackjack Mormon, I guess. Because unlike
is that what Robert Jordan considered to be like tribal or very?
Well, you had to know Kelly to understand tribal, I think.
I see.
Because unlike most Mormons, Kelly drank and smoked and whored around. If I can put that delicately.
What's wrong? What's wrong with any of that?
Yeah, the three Bs.
Let's take that break to say Patrick Min says, "Love you, Alan. Miss you and Amy." Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, Patrick. Good to see you, Patrick. Oh, you're not there. So the where were we? Kelly pretty much hated everyone. unless he was paying them. And the only people I could see who he was totally devoted to were Harriet and Jim, very much like Ajimbora was toward Kareed. I heard him badmouth almost everybody he came in contact with at the Bandersnatch compound, except Harriet and Jim and Maria. I never heard him say anything bad about Maria.
What did you overhear him saying about you?
I didn't, but people would tell me that.
Oh, so he was careful. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It was always behind your back.
It's not like he's cutting the hedges or something, and you can just hear him cursing your name outside the window.
No.
We've learned so much more than I was expecting.
It was always behind the back, and now Kelly's general garb was in the warm weather. He just wore some filthy shorts. But that was it. He'd be barefoot,
shirtless.
It's all gardening. I mean, I wear dirty shorts.
Gardening, yeah. It's pretty rough work.
But I wear shoes when I work in the yard too.
Bitch.
Yeah, he did. Well, you're not a tribesman, Tom.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
And when the cold weather came, he actually put on long pants and
still shirtless. Though.
Very often shirtless, but he'd have an oily, dirty jacket that he put over himself, and he wore sandals. And sometimes, if it was really cold, he'd put on socks.
What? Is he still alive?
Oh God, no. No.
To answer that, I mean. Jono, I can answer that question. He was eaten alive by rats on the battlefield during the last battle.
All right, so
while trying to take one for lunch, Alan, we didn't see this happen in the book. Who wrote this?
I can't say.
I've got an idea.
So anyway, that's a key point of Ajimbora's character. He loved to spear.
Oh no, nothing. No, nothing.
We were pointing at you as the person who wrote his death scene.
Oh. I thought there was a spot on my pants.
No, probably
there
later.
is though.
As you're discussing Ajimbora, I also came. It's okay.
You sound like a sexy dude.
I won't ask what conclusion you came to, but
don't.
The ultimate.
No, I'm not asking. So where were we? Ajimbora would spear rats with a dagger and eat them. He loved to do that. And this is
in real life, it was a rake or a spade.
Well, this is what really sealed it for me, that Kelly was Ajimbora, because we were talking about Vietnam at one point, and as we often did, and he told me about eating rats with a Vietnamese family once, and I said that seals it. Jim obviously heard the same story, and said this is too good to let go.
Yeah, he's like, I know who this guy is.
All right,
did he read the books?
I think Kelly only looked at pictures and videos.
Yeah.
Delicate, everybody.
This is a cool.
It's always a pleasure having you on. I know this. I know that just goes without saying, but.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Now this is a cool thing about Kelly, though. His family, he had I think an older brother who had a PhD. He had a niece who was a therapist. I think she was a clinical psychologist. And then there's the Kelly side of the family. He claimed he got an AA from some school along the way, but I could never figure out what his major had been. And he sure didn't come across as a college boy. I'll tell you that. So Brandon, I guess, left out Ajambura's fate in the last battle, and so we had to put that in, and it's one of those great ironies of literature. I mean, this stands up against James Joyce, and I'm not going to go through the list, but
that would have been the weirdest aside during the last battle to just get this guy's viewpoint all of a sudden.
What if it, how
just trying to get
how Rand's witnessing people die as he pushes back on the dark one? What if one of them was just Ajambura?
Just
really highlighted him for like just a minute, and then some guys stabbing rats, and they all swarm over his body.
Well, it would have been a dramatic scene in the book.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have.
It could have been a background or something. Yeah,
eclipsed Lon and Demandred, I think.
I don't even know who they are after hearing about Ajambura.
Yeah, well, secondary characters, really.
I mean,
yeah. So the ultimate irony: this guy who loved to eat rats gets overrun by a field of feral rats as he's trying to spear them.
So did Jim actually have that already kind of like in there as a thing? You said that like Brandon didn't put it in there, so you kind of had to put it in the glossary or the companion. Did Jim actually have that written already, or was that something that you guys kind of intuited through notes?
After all of these years, it's hard to distinguish what's in my head and what's in reality. I don't know. It's
not for me. If you had just said yes or no, I still would have believed either way.
Now that's the second time Alan's dodged answering who wrote this ending to this character.
Yeah.
So
I think we should just.
Well,
we all know.
Let's wait 30 minutes. Let him have a couple more beers, and we'll ask him again, see if he slips.
Yeah.
Well, I have to do a commercial here because what I'm drinking is
a
non-alcoholic beer.
Oh.
And this is Free Wave by Athletic Brewing Company. They have a tap room in Connecticut and manufacture in Connecticut. Hey, Bill. Bill's not there, is he?
No.
And in San Diego. And it's actually a really good beer. And if you want to get drunk, you can just pour vodka into it, and it'll still be a really good beer.
All right.
Thank you, Alan.
I've never heard of drinking a non-alcoholic beer and pouring vodka into it.
So
pretty good idea.
$50, right, for that pitch?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Yeah, our trickle down economy plan is working real well here.
Good.
Let's see, Joe. What do you got next?
Well, we talked about a lot of Ajambura.
As we should.
We're sticking to the A's, right?
Adrian.
Because next time you'll have to know about Bella, but that's another.
Bella's next week.
We have to bring you back for the bees.
No. You should do Maria. Do Harriet for that. I mean,
everybody on the planet Earth wants to hear everything there is to hear about Bella. You just teased people like nobody's business, except for the three of us.
I know. So Tom and Jono have a bunch of entries that they want to discuss, but I have to mention my favorite A name, which is Aram.
I didn't write him down, but I was really hoping that was going to happen.
Oh, right.
That's it.
That's all.
I don't remember that scene.
Oh, it's in Aram Sino Man.
You might want to rewatch.
They're the same person.
We're gonna have Brendan Fraser do the bees.
Oh my god, that'd be incredible.
That'd be good.
And just so everybody knows, we did a show with Black Tower Podcasts 4 weeks ago, something about that. Like an hour on Asmodean, so we're not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when they're putting that show out. It might be out already, but I don't know. But I think
come out eventually. And
John, that being said, we're gonna skip Asmodean because we did discuss it with Black Tower Podcast for.
Although I will say, never mind.
Good.
Do you have all the things I sent you, Joe? Or no?
No.
Oh,
John, do you want to bring one up, or you want me to do one?
You can go first, then, Tom.
All right, the Asha Man entry, Alan. one that stood out for me was just one line from it. And it's, the penalty for rape was death unless the woman was willing to ask that you not be killed and to marry you. Then you were merely flogged until you could not stand.
Would you repeat that, please?
The penalty for rape for an Ashaman was death, unless the woman was willing to ask that you not be killed and to marry you instead.
Ooh.
Do we think that happened a lot?
That's a weird law to have on the books.
I know.
It feels like it's very specific.
I feel like that would have been a one-time situation. Maybe that could have.
They're like,
happened.
listen, this is what we're doing from now on.
Or do you think
because
it
of
happened?
that guy? And then it happened like
That
3 more
one
times,
guy.
and they're like, all right, if the woman wants to marry you, it's okay. Let's just add an
We're
addendum.
just gonna beat you to near death, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna get married
Yeah.
to your victim. That one I was just like, where did that come from? I thought that
Real
was
life.
wild.
Well, that brings us back to Kelly, I'm afraid. By the way, I have to say, Harriet really was very fond of Kelly, and I guess if you're the only one who is not being badmouthed, it's
Yeah,
would
yeah.
help.
Yeah,
There's-
that's, I would always think that, like, leave him alone. He's fine.
Well, you know, you don't badmouth the person that's writing your paycheck, right? You know.
Right.
No, I do.
Oh, that's true. I do too, but
Yeah,
not
I
where
hate
they
doing
can
that.
hear.
Oh,
No, always behind the back.
Yeah.
So anyway, was there a question there, or was
I was
No,
just
we're just discussing that entry.
yeah, that's all
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
do. We're really just gonna bring up the entries, the things that struck us as odd. And I
so
guess
you're
the first-
penetrating that entry?
Yes, and then I'm gonna
Right.
marry it. I think.
Hold on, we have an
Okay.
actual response in chat here. Yasmin
Oh, good.
says that's an
Oh,
actual
wow.
law that exists in real life, sadly, in some countries. Cringe. If the woman marries her rapist, then he just walks
Oh
free.
yeah.
So you think
That's
that?
messed up.
So that's
Well-
that's probably from Robert Jordan's notes that he got from.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
the
yeah,
real
maybe
world.
he we all know like the Ashaman have like Mazrim Taim did treat them very harshly, like with very harsh rules. So like if he heard something like that as a real law, that doesn't strike me as odd that he'd be like, yeah, that's perfect for.
Yeah, if you're gonna make the
These
harsh
guys.
laws, I guess you'd
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the Black Tower to
Yeah.
incorporate
Yeah.
them from the real world.
And what Yasmin said is certainly true, and it was true in this country too. There have been judges who have said things like that.
I mean, don't the
Study
marriage
law.
part and walk free is weird.
you know what?
Not necessarily against death for rape.
I feel like
Could
we're
be
either
bad. I
not
feel like
drunk
it
or
could
too
be.
drunk enough for this
An
topic already.
analogist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a quick point out
Just
from the
switch on
book.
to it.
Just a quick rape discussion.
Well, that's an entry we probably shouldn't push any farther. you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's what
Jono?
rape is.
No.
Rape is when you push the entry further.
No, he already did the joke.
Oh,
Jono,
oh.
come
You
on,
have to
Jono.
excuse me. I'm new to humor.
Sometimes Alan's humor is so strong that it even throws off Jono, which is saying something. Because
You know what
usually
he
they're
calls
on the
his humor?
same. Usually they're like looking into each other's eyes over the internets, and they're like, "We got it. I got you. I knew that too."
He
Oh.
calls his humor his penis.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
All right, so I got one a question, or not really a question, but one of those kind of very interesting entrants. Alais Barsala, who is of course the stately first consul of Farmatting. I'll spare you her height, 5'7", so I didn't spare you. But if you remember, Cadswain commented about her and said that let's see here, that at one point she had to stop a bad habit, correct a bad habit of her laces. Do you know what that was? It was never really discussed necessarily within the series. Never see where
Stop a bad habit. What?
Yeah. So when in book 9 in Farmatting, when Rand eventually takes them there, Cadswain follows and intervenes on Rand's behalf because Rand's in jail, or well, I guess maybe beforehand, and takes Alais to the side and says, like, hey, I've already, don't fuck with me pretty much because I've already curbed one of your bad habits, and you don't want that to come public. The bad habit, as far as I remember, is never really elucidated upon. Is there?
And you're expecting Alan
to
remember this now?
Well, I'm just asking if there's anything there. It's never really said.
Well, that was part of the notes that never got put into public. But she had a habit of sketching nude Ashaman and hanging them on her walls.
I fucking knew it.
That sounds about right.
I fucking knew it.
And
that makes sense, right? Because if you're in that city, obviously you're going to bring, nude dudes who can't channel.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
So Cat Swain, caught her one day with her, and I won't say what she was using in her. Well, never. No. Another entry is in order, though.
Like the backdoor entry.
Well, I can't say.
I mean, we can't say. Yeah. What do you
This
think this is? What kind of podcast do you think this is, Jono?
There are laws against certain things. So
you heard it.
Elise was a rascal, though. Let's see. Someone named Howley.
M.R. Howley. He was at JordanCon this year, Alan. But you missed meeting him.
Sorry, I missed you, MR.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We'll all collectively forgive you, but in the future, make up for it.
So I had what you did obviously confirm were two things. One, what we probably should have expected from Elise, but secondly, the entry behind it is a Elise who was a Merlin in the early 900s.
Oh, Emerlin.
Emerlin. Sorry, my apologies. I pronounce things differently because of reading. This is ebook.
It's pronounced.
Thank you. They were so close. There were two Elises right next to each other, and they were kind of in the same time frame, both having to do with Cat Swain. Where I was so I had this weird. I read it while drunk this morning.
There you go.
The first one, she did not want, or the second one did not want to take. Didn't want to take the Cat Swain refused to be a Merlin, because of just not wanting to be it, and this other Elise was chosen, and so all of a sudden my mind was like, are these the same person? I don't think so, though, based on the look of your disappointment in my theory.
No, well, they're if there's separate entries, I have no idea who you're talking about, but it's again, I have no memory of much, so I just make up stuff. So,
that's okay.
You should answer authoritatively every time we ask a question, like whether you remember it or not.
Yeah, I think that's collectively what we're looking for here, Alan. Yeah. You just need to
absolutely.
You need to answer as if you know what you're talking about, and then we don't care what the answer is.
Yeah, that's actually true.
We lost Alan's audio.
Your audio, Alan, your audio fell off. Put your glasses back on. That'll help.
I don't know what happened. No, can't hear you, buddy. That didn't work.
That'll help.
Just unplug the headphones and plug them back in and see.
Just unplug them and plug them back in, Alan. Nope, that's mute. Hey. Still can't hear you. Oh, Alan.
Let's just go back.
If you look in the show description, there's a long list of things that you can do, like join us on Patreon or stuff like that. And in it is guest links. Oh, Alan's back. And one of them is guest links, Alan Romanczuk. And then I wrote, Alan doesn't like the internet because he has no links.
No links.
Yep. Hey, you're back.
So, Jono, what did you just ask about?
Oh, I had that was about the Elises. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Tom, what's your?
Yeah. Oh, all mine are. They're all pretty short. I guess the entry for Arena, it says she was bonded to Nicola as a warder. Was that ever discussed in the book?
You don't remember who the fuck they are.
So
I'm asking the room.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to do a search on that. I don't know as how.
What would that search entail?
A website, not his book. Yeah.
Another computer, probably.
Arena.
Yeah,
Hey, let's hit a big note. Jono, what's a big note?
What do you mean? Like what's a good question?
It's a big topic.
yeah.
So-
To the big topics.
Here's the
You know,
stuff.
actually, I have a question, Alan. This is broad, and Jono had brought it up kind of earlier, but it was one of the entries had something about the ages. And it was sort of like, and Jono, maybe you can help me. Maybe you can help me here. But it was sort of basically like there's 7 ages, and is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, count them.
So I always thought it was weird when people assumed, or maybe it was written, because I don't feel like it ever was, that we're the 4th age, and the 4th age is like after the last battle, and like how long? I don't know. You know what I mean? I always felt like it would make more sense if it's a wheel, and Rand is like the 3rd age. If we were like almost on the opposite end of the spectrum, like magic dies, like other ages come to pass, and like magic is dead, and then magic arises again, and like that. It always made more sense to me if we were like somewhere further along, and we were just like, well, how long's an age? Wait, are they all different lengths? I don't understand. Like the 4th age must be really, really fucking long, and there must have been another cataclysm at some point, because the Earth does not resemble. You know what I mean? And that's where I was like, well,
catechism. Yeah.
Where did the 4th age, and that's us, come into play? That's what I don't understand that.
Is it us?
I don't know. That's what everyone says. That's just common like vernacular within the fandom. I don't know. Like I don't know if it was ever actually like written somewhere.
No, it wasn't. Not that I recall. The point is the wheel turns. There are 7 ages.
Mm-hmm.
You return to age 1 at somewhere, thousands and thousands of years in the distant future and past.
Yeah.
You're on age 1, but it's always slightly different. It's going to be massaged by what came before. There'll be a great deal of similarities, but it's not going to be the identical one.
Yeah, that's a fair point too.
So remember, we're Jim speaks of the museum at Tanchico, where those items were found, the Mercedes-Benz symbol and all of that business, the animals that had existed once. So that puts us in the past.
Yeah,
wasn't everything technically the past?
Everything's
but
the
I mean-
past. Everything's the future. It's
Everything's awesome.
when you're on the wheel, it's kind of a timeless. The space-time continuum just is very different.
Anus A says, "Isn't that we're the 1st age?" I don't know. Like that's kind of what I'm saying. Like it makes more sense in my mind that like we're somewhere further along and or backwards from
Pandor's in the
time.
3rd age.
A circle.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that?
So where does that common misconception, I would assume at this point, that like we're the 4th age, like that the 4th age is our age? Because the 4th age was like the last battle, birth of the children, Rand's babies that were almost cut out of a lane. But like, you know
There's
what I mean?
no
Like,
place to
but
be
that
right
like
about
started
that.
the 4th age, so to speak. So like, how far along would we have to get in that age for us to exist? It feels like by then it should be the 5th age. That's all I'm saying, or the 6th even.
I mean,
You know.
something from the 4th age would still eventually be a relic in the 3rd age. My question is, the second time the 1st age came around, how long did it take them to realize, wait a minute, we're not 8, we're 1 again?
Really long.
Well, they have to check the label, but I think all we can really be certain of is there was an age before the books, the Age of Legends, and then the
Village Master
age
says
that
we were the
it
1st
takes
age.
place.
Can you really trust a village mattress?
I mean, you might be able to. You might be able to trust Village Mattress.
What did the first age be like? Monkeys and cavemen?
No, that was the 7th age. That's the ultimate version of humanity.
Also, welcome, White Shizzle. Made it. I damn near missed on Twatterday night. Okay, I guess that's what we call it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It'd be Twat Tuesday night.
You know, just because something's primitive through a certain period, it can all still be in the same age. I mean, look at human history. You could say that all of recorded human history that we know of, that we've recorded, is still in the same age. We don't know how long the ages are.
I think that's kind of
So that's the question, right? Like, are they all?
We could theoretically be 4th age if it's long
Are they
enough.
all equal? Like in length, right? And obviously, you know, part of this is.
I would assume that they're not all
Data.
even, honestly.
But why?
Just because of how short the 3rd age is. Like, we sort of relatively know how short the 3rd age was. And
It seems short.
it doesn't seem long enough to be like equivalent to the other ages.
I mean,
But
that's
you could make a point that the ages change based on what's happening relative to the creator. And,
they're not all the same.
And the bad guys. That was a very
we know about the first age is that it ended with fire and something else. I forget. I think this is from RJ's notes. The going theory being some sort of nuclear holocaust. So yeah, that kind of follows up on what Village Mattress was saying, where we were the first age.
Oh, so the one power is radiation.
So all those people that refer to this current timeline as the 4th age are incorrect. That's what we've discovered here tonight.
No, I think we've discovered. We just don't know. Cataclysms are going to happen in every single age. The Earth is going to be reformed in every age.
Now, tell me, what is a clism?
A clism.
Yeah.
Well, that gets back to the entries.
Yeah.
You know, if you're of a certain type of person and you look down, you'll see a clism.
Right.
Is that a clip between a chasm?
Nope.
If they're a catapenis as well.
Only in the second age.
I'm not sure I'm meant
All
for this
right.
world. I just don't understand.
This is turned into a classic episode of tWoTcast and John and Alan talk about amazing stuff.
Well, it's a great philosophical question, and it's you know, all kidding aside, the underpinnings of these ideas have been around for millennia.
Yeah.
Or ages, you might say.
But I don't think you can. I don't think there's anything specifically, even in the notes or the books, that say what each age is about. Other than we know a lot about the age of legends, we know about the 3rd age. We suspect. I don't know if does it actually say directly. We suspect that with the end of the last battle, we've entered the 4th age.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
I think it says directly. I think it's known that his children will herald like the new age, and I could be wrong about that. I mean,
if that's not
very specifically, but it's inferred maybe.
If that's not the capstone to an age, I don't know what could possibly be.
I think it's. I think it's from
It's from the prophecies.
The Rand in the cylinders thing, or maybe Avienda's actually when she's seeing
from the prophecies, isn't it? That the world that's how the age ends.
Oh, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe the dragon's death is like Dragon Reborn's death, rather.
Yeah, it's the herald of
the end of an age or whatever.
And I think the change in Rand is symbolic of that switch into the next age.
Yeah.
His laws of physics are different than they were previously. You know, he no longer can channel, or at least in the same way. He lights his pipe with his finger or whatever.
Yeah, he just gets really good at close-up magic.
And Yeah.
He's actually just got really frictional fingers that are just kind of.
No, he's just got that like fire paper that magicians have.
Well, you rub it against the chrism, and it produces sparks.
Just rub it against.
Hey,
the
what's
chrism.
this right by your chrism? It's a quarter.
Alan, I don't have one of these with your face on it, and apparently I should.
Well, I'm just channeling Jono, so it doesn't matter.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Hey, guess what? This source is ready.
Our guest is Alan Romanczuk. Actually worked on these books.
It's hard to believe.
Everything that you're hearing here is canon.
Yeah,
it's canon.
So here's a question for you from that book you were just holding.
Yeah.
So Aloysia Nemosny, it doesn't matter. The oldest member of the kin.
No, don't worry about trying to remember it.
The oldest member of the kin. Elaine wonders
the oldest member.
If Aloysia would fall over dead if she would take the 3 oaths.
Because she's like,
did Alan just answer how Rand lit the pipe?
It's close-up magic.
It's canon.
It's canon now. It's close-up magic. It's not real. He's not bending the pattern with nothing. It's just close-up magic.
We should just end that fucking pot. We're gonna have you back on next week because we just did everything else. No.
Get to the bitch and bees. Come on.
Yeah. No, but so the question is, this old haggard bitch, 600 years old.
Yeah.
If she took the
the 3 oaths.
Would she die?
Well, they theorize that the kin, if forced to like take the oaths,
well, hold on. No, I'm not talking to that guy.
I'm explaining what your question is.
He's doing well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep talking.
What he's asking is like, so the kin live for like a really long time, and they haven't sworn the oaths, and swearing the oaths cuts your lifespan, which we figured out. But since she's super old, were she to take the oaths at that point, would it like cut her remaining life in half, which is not much? Or if it's, say she's only going to live like another year, would she have 6 months to live? Or if she should have been dead a long time ago, like would she just shrivel up and die? Like, like that's the idea. Like I think that,
Elaine asked it. And Elaine is, of course, a beautiful, purebred woman and a bitch.
This is the only way we're going to get an answer. Would she explode like a vampire? Would she suddenly become young and sexy? Those are the only 2 options.
Well, I think you have to understand what happens to the aging brain. And if she's a zillion years old, what is she, 600 years old? Is that
600,
correct, the idea?
Yes.
Think of how much her brain would have shrunk. So she could take the 3 oaths and the next, minutes later,
just
she has no memory of having done it.
Yeah, do the oaths hold if you don't remember taking?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a question.
Like the idea, like it's not a lie if you believe it. Is it a lie if you don't remember the truth?
Yeah.
No, Nomen Garden. She would die, but she'd cut her remaining lifespan, which is kind of what I just mentioned. But like that's.
I don't think that people in chat can tell Alan what the answer is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Alan's the authority here.
I'm with him. Probably age her remaining years as a normal person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she wouldn't die, but she would age quickly.
It's like putting avocados in a bag to ripen. Hey, Trolloc Talk.
Oh, I like that one. One.
Yeah. So she's been, and very similar to the current assumption on Alzheimer's, oxidization. So that makes sense there, avocado.
Wait, there's another good theory here from DK Moon. She would die. It meant she had told too many lies that the oath rod would make her explode.
Like that. All right.
Just burst into flame.
What an assumption. She had
you cannot tell a lie. That's the end of that one.
I'm glad we've nailed that one down.
I mean, I think we figured it out. I think we got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
We're answering all questions here about theories from the Wheel of Time, but only if they start with A.
Yeah, but only if they start with A. I really need today's episode is brought to you by the letter A.
Alan could tell you,
spoken by a Sesame Street Muppet.
Alan could tell you who Nakomi is right now, but that starts with an N, so it's not happening.
Don't think so. Yeah.
Sorry, we're not going to get to Nakomi tonight.
We're far away from that.
He already told us off stage earlier, by the way.
Many times.
So I've got another one if you guys want it.
Yeah, let's do some.
And this one, the Amayar, of course, the people who lived on the Seafolk Isles as they were assumed to be.
Oh,
I will never forget Robert Jordan or your friend Jim, apparently. I don't know who the hell that is.
It's code. It's code for RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
J. Nope, no RJ.
Wait a minute. Trolleycock has a good point. Not if Nakomi's real name starts with an A.
Oh, shit.
Does it?
It's Amy.
It is. It's Amy Romanczuk. We knew it. All this time, it's the actual Alan's Wheel of Time companion.
So the Amayar, I'll never forget his like just dissatisfaction. Really, like, it was after I guess after book 9, where he's like something terrible has happened, like because
yes.
all kill themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget him like kind of like, if you guys don't understand what the fuck I was talking about, then you've got a real problem. And people are like, what are you talking about? And he's like, a whole society killed themselves. Was that something that like registered to you a lot? Because I saw 2 or 3 different interviews from him that he was just flummoxed that people found that to not be the most obvious like issue that happened after the breaking or after the cleansing. So does mass suicide bother you or no is the question.
I'm all for it in some cases.
How mass?
Yeah.
How mass is the question? Well, it was an island, right? So,
well, I mean, Jono, I remember the bit you're talking about, and to me, when I read the books, I was underwhelmed. As well as most of the readers were, but I think it's because he didn't spend a lot of time like highlighting the fact that it was like a travesty. Like he kind of like mentioned it quickly and moved on. Like it felt like
just
kind of
the wind blows over the island.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of like a footnote. It's like a real quick. And I think he was like expecting a reaction, like, "Oh my god, all these people like murdered themselves or like killed themselves," and like
it actually struck me a lot more when I was flipping through the companion making notes today. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Well, it probably didn't help that you called it a bit, right? That's not a real good joke. Anyway, Alan?
No, it's no, I mean it just makes sense, doesn't it? It's
100%.
If I saw a glowing statue, I'm out of here. I actually almost, when I was younger, when Ghostbusters happened, and they moved the statue
in real life, you mean?
Ghostbusters 2, sorry. I almost killed myself.
I see a
glowing statue of Liberty.
Yeah. I see a glowing statue. I get very thirsty for Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
As I think most people do.
Yeah.
All right. I have one. For the Arthur Hawkwing entry, it says that he sent his son across to Shanshan.
Yeah.
And then it says he sent his daughter with an army to Shara. And I don't know if they covered that a lot in the books. Are the Sharans also descendants of Hawkwing? Or did the daughter go over there and just get destroyed?
I think that's the implication to some extent.
I feel like there's more to that, Tom, that I remember too.
No, Tom's correct, or Alan's correct. It's definitely a B is the assumption, because there's actually, if I remember correctly, in the Big White Book, they saw burning fleets everywhere. The Aiel did.
Yeah, there's not a lot known about
anything, John.
That didn't help at all.
Alan's correct as always.
I'm just wondering, is that also a separate branch of Hawkwing's armies, or did she go to Shara and like not take over the continent?
No, that was a bitch. It was very.
I feel like there's more there with the Demandred, like Bow of the Wild.
But that would have come much later.
No, I know, but I mean, like somehow connected to his story, and you find out more about the Shara. I feel like there's a little bit more information there, and I think you're right, and I think it has something to do with Arthur Hawkwing's descendants. And I could be wrong with like, I think there's like a little bit of like, I don't know. I think there's a little peppered in there about like where the Shara like got their one power really kind of from. personally.
Alan, when are you going to write the Wheel of Time series that takes place in Shara and runs parallel to the timeline of the main series, and it's all about what Demandra does over in Shara? Is that happening anytime soon, or we have to wait?
Well, that'll happen after Amazon Prime finishes this series. So
Most likely.
I would put a lot of money, personally, my own money, down for that.
okay.
Yeah, it's also like $12.
Okay. Anyway, there's not a lot in the notes, in Jim's notes about Shara
it's
that
just
I recall.
as mysterious in the notes.
So it's speculation, really.
A speculum is what we usually deal with, so that's fine.
Speculum.
Speculation. Sorry.
Speculum.
Yes. Yeah. The only way I know to keep my wife open.
The Shara Chronicles.
We're back to the Cataclysm again.
Shannara Chronicles is a shitty TV series. Great reference. Solid thought.
It's coming up.
I mean, it's going to happen eventually.
I actually had like River of Souls. I haven't read it personally. Alan, did you? That was the
No, personally or otherwise. No.
Yeah.
You read it third hand.
No.
Hide behind somebody. You didn't hide behind a bench in the park. Somebody was reading it out loud.
With a third hand on your lap. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that's a song by Alanis Morissette. It's what it sounds like too. Big guttural groan. Beautiful woman.
What else do you guys have?
We
got a few minutes left. Let's jam a few more A's into this. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a ton of topics. I just had a lot of stuff that kind of stood out to me.
Oh,
all right,
well, actually, I was all right again in Shara when the entry for the Ayad. It's on page 92 where they talk about where boys from that village are taken hooded in a wagon when they're 16 to another village, and then they have sex with anybody in the village that wants them to for 5 years, and then they get hooded again to go to the next village, and they're just like, I guess I'm on my way to the next village, but they're actually just like cremated. My question is, if you get hooded at 16 and taken to a village and every lady in the village bangs you because they want to have a Chandler baby, and then all of a sudden they put the hood back on you 5 years later, you're like, I guess I'm on to the next village. I would just be like, I wouldn't even consider that I'm on the way to the next village. I just feel like, shit.
What?
Not even a question. Just
I thought it was
it's just a funny point in the entry.
Oh, I like it.
I think this is a movie that Kelly saw once.
That sounds about right.
The Armies of the Night. The entry is very brief, but it says it's what Hawkwing's armies called the forces they encountered when they crossed the ocean, and it was filled with mysterious creatures and militant Aes Sedai.
That's got to be the Shan-Chan, right?
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
so.
the Shan-Chan are Hawkwing's armies. It's when they got there. It was just a militant Aes Sedai and weird creatures fighting them.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
How militant? What do they look like?
Short hair, probably some interesting videos.
Yeah, tattoo.
Yeah, a couple noses.
Well, I mean, it would be Ajahn tribesmen, right?
No,
his ancestors.
Yeah.
No, we've got the Damani and the yeah. It's Shan-Chan.
You got
Jono,
anything else, John?
What do you
Where
got?
are we?
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Alan. Also,
I'm sorry,
can we all
guys.
just like angle our cameras to be Alan?
I guess I got a question for there's a Shan-Chan character called
I can't even do it.
In the book they just call him Bakun, but I guess his name is Asid Bakun. And it's a very short entry, but it just randomly just says he has a dog named Nips.
It says that?
Yes.
Hello there, Carrie John.
Hey. Nips, huh?
Any backstory to that?
Well,
Wait,
It could be
your
a bloody
question
backside with Nips.
is there a real dog named Nips? I think is your question.
Or if not,
It's
tell me
Kelly.
more.
It turns out it's Kelly's dog.
Hey there.
Sometimes he would come, bring his dog, and the dog would just run around taking shits in the rose bushes. Harriet yelled at him, but he couldn't yell at Harriet because she pays his bills.
He, if Kelly had had a dog, oh gee, Kelly lived in a small mobile home that had been damaged in Hurricane Hugo in '86, and it was collecting a lot of mold on the inside.
You didn't meet him for 15 years later, and you still know this.
He was a rich character, you know.
He doesn't love Nips.
Nips.
I'm being corrected with all caps. It is Nip, not Nips.
Oh, I thought
dog
it was
named Nip.
apostrophe S.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
No ownership either.
Nip.
You know what, Alan? If you tell me, like, you send me an email later tonight or tomorrow morning, or never, I wouldn't blame me for either. That Kelly never existed, and this is all some bullshit you made up. I would still be like,
He just found some guy on the street, made him pose, took a picture of him.
with a lantern in his
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past you, Alan. I mean, with some of the videos you've given us for some of the live streams and stuff, it wouldn't be that shocking. You're like, here's a costume. Here's a lot of elaborate things to hold in your hands.
Well, you'll have to ask Maria if he existed or not.
Kelly is half of all the book's characters.
That may be. It may be.
Oh, Ayush, you're a good guy. Yeah. No,
well, you were still finishing Tom's question, or did Tom, did you finish your question?
there's no
About
nip.
Nip?
There's no further nip.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean,
Discussion.
Story to Nip.
By the way, our
Unless
chat keeps saying hit the like button and stuff, and like thank you for Emma Howley and Matt Stagger for doing our job for us. But yeah, if you guys could like and subscribe, that'd be great.
That'd be nice. The four of you out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's five.
4 or 5
The five,
viewers.
okay.
Yeah.
Shanda's watching. I have her
I-
phone. I have her phone. So that's her fifth. She doesn't know where her phone is. Last question for you,
All right.
or at least that I've got. And let me remind myself of what it was.
Oh,
Blank stare.
You're the best and the worst.
Andrew.
And roll.
Was he anything in Jim's notes? Is that a Sanderson character?
Yeah, he was in Jim's notes. He was in the books, but he was definitely embellished toward the end.
Okay. How
Yeah.
much?
Yeah,
No,
about
Dan,
that much. Hold it right there. Right there.
I
Yeah.
about that much.
Exactly.
Way
exactly.
more. I was gonna say way more.
You got it. Well, no, I'm just thinking in terms of relativity with Jono.
Oh yeah, relative. Yeah, no, you gotta figure that out.
What's he doing? It's
I'm
He's
trying to
with
open my mouth.
Ignore it.
He's
Ignore it.
Trying to stand.
It's not worth watching.
call EMTs. Yeah,
Sanderson has said he took Andrew and ran with him with his own ideas.
there you go.
Take your Trolloc talk.
Yeah.
It's almost like you should
Listen,
be
here,
on an
Tom,
episode
we're here talking about Alan.
entitled T.
Didn't I just say that?
Yeah.
That much.
Yeah, but you
That
did it by
much.
measure.
Late to join. Who is Kelly? Matt Holton. Come on. Man.
Oh my God, you're gonna have to start way from.
Yeah, you got to go way back for that.
All right.
There's a
So
lot
Kelly
there.
was a gardener.
No!
Let's just rehash the whole episode.
All right, Alan. It's 8:30, and glad you're joining us. Tell us who
8:30.
Kelly was.
No, tell us about Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a few entries just in the A's that are pretty detailed about characters and their roles in the Battle of the Shining Walls. It doesn't come up that much in the book, but like I've seen like 3 or 4 entries where it's like, oh, this person was this and this reported this person. I'm like, man, how do we know this? And it never came up in the books. Like, is that all from the notes? Were we ever going to see that?
It should be. It should be for the most part.
Yep.
Nobody's asked about Alan Mandragoran, though.
Alan
Mandragoran.
Mandragoran.
He's not in the A's.
Now, if you look at his entry, it
Which
says,
is butthole.
Sea Land Mandragoran.
All right, I guess that could be our final question.
But he's there. But he's there.
With the
But he's there.
final,
Let's discuss it a little bit.
no,
Alan
the
Mandragoran.
no.
Was he
really.
was he named after me? Is the
I mean,
question.
I assume so.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
No,
Years
not even-
before Jim
Not
knew
even
you.
close. Yeah.
That's what prophecy is.
That's prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys were going through the A's and you were doing all the Al, apostrophe whoever for every single character in the Two Rivers, and then every single entry was like, see this person's first name and last name. Like at some point where you're like, maybe we shouldn't do this.
We're putting a lot of work in here.
Maybe we don't need to do the reference. Maybe we just trust them to get to the first name instead of looking for the last name. Or you were just like, let's load it up.
I don't know. It's no. I have to hand it to the people who write encyclopedias, the World Book people,
Yourself included.
the dictionaries, OEDs. The Professor and the Madman. Do you know that one? About the OED?
I don't think I've seen that.
It's a great book. It's I won't tell you who did it at the end, but
I guess maybe that's one of our last. It's
but remember,
pages.
it's 800 pages. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the A's are 100 pages. Did you guys do the A's and then you were just like, we can't keep
Oh, what are we doing?
we got to make
What
the rest
have
of
we
these
done?
much shorter.
Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah,
It's 90 pages. Yeah, it's
about yeah.
The A's are the bulk.
I get well.
Or did Jim just name everybody with an A?
Also, I'm really looking forward to those
Yeah.
later weeks, guys, when we're on like the letter D and it's
it's
just
94
20
pages.
Just wait.
4 pages.
Just wait for Z. It's like 2 pages long.
Oh, there we go.
10
Oh,
minute
we can
show.
talk. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Z, the 2 entries for like an entire episode. it's gonna be
Zenobia.
really weird.
That's it.
Let's discuss this in depth.
But it will be exciting because we'll have Zendaya on as our guest that week.
Oh yeah, of course.
And, yeah.
We'll just talk to her.
Yeah, but that the great number of A's might have to do with Jim's practice of developing lists of names.
Hmm.
And, he'd see words or hear words that sounded really cool, and they'd go on a list. And he'd draw a lot of stuff from those lists. And, I guess it's not inconceivable that he was just drawn to a lot of A names as being the first in the alphabet and never put as many in on the other letters. I don't know. Good question.
Maybe we should revisit A next week, boys.
Revisit.
Or do we want to move on to
No,
B?
we're moving
No,
on to B.
moving on.
Got to
We
move
can-
on.
we can do it.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Alan just emailed.
Let's put a poll in the chat.
Fuck
We're gonna
off.
put a poll up. should we
Is
revisit?
this Jono's
A?
poll?
I don't have any
Yeah.
more notes. I think next week B is for Bennington.
Okay. I mean, there's
Well,
a poll,
maybe
so
maybe it
we'll
will
know for
be
sure.
answered who Taffy Bennington is in the books.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute.
well, we can't. That's next week, guys. Maybe.
So we can wait.
You can't. You'll have to wait. Yeah.
We
By the
literally
way,
can't just
I know it.
proceed
I know it only
today.
means like one person answered, but immediately it was like 100% no.
That was me.
No.
There's just
The
one
answer
person
is no.
in the audience.
All right, moving on to B. All right, we'll see. All right, we'll just drop to 60.
Oh.
Alan, thank you so much for being on.
Yes, sir.
You're a
It-
hero.
it's-
Picked your brain where you had no knowledge and you rolled with it. And it was great.
There's absolutely
I
nothing.
mean, everything
there.
you say is canon. That's what I meant to say.
It's
I meant to say
canon. And guys, it's as always, it's been a clism,
that. Yeah.
and I can't thank you enough.
We can't
for
thank you enough.
to
I-
listening to me.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in before Tom says anything dumber than I will. But seriously, and I echo this for knowing Harriet, for knowing Maria, for knowing your wife, Amy. If, we had done this shit 11, 12, whenever the fuck we started this, and knowing that you would be on our show and no one else would like it, which is actually the fact, we still would have done it. Because it means the world to us. You're a fantastic friend in person. And you actually signed the outside of my book here at the bottom. I don't know how many people have that right here. You see how it says? That's amazing to me. The fact that you signed that. And it means the world. Oh, you piece of shit.
I mean, when we get to tea, there's a reason, Jono. That's all.
I don't have one in mind.
You mean to sign yours? I'll sign yours.
Yeah.
Guys, right now the poll is 56%. We should revisit the A's.
I don't have anything else.
Apparently, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I know, but we could do
it. Probably assuming
3 weeks for a letter if we really.
Hey, Tom, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to. It's not about you.
Listen to people.
They don't care about you. They want content.
Well, that's too bad.
Oh, we
don't
want
the audience. It's all about the viewers, Tom.
Anyway, Alan, thank you so much as always.
It's been real. Okay, guys.
Love you, Alan.
Peace.
All right.
Love you all.
Bye, Alan.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
So that's tWoTcast for this week. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And in theory, we'll get better at responding to them. The in theory part is in bold, I think. I think that's the part we...
Do they understand what theory means?
You can listen to the audio version of this podcast or this show, wherever you get your podcasts. That's what I meant to say. tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by the one and the only Taffy Bennington. She's amazing. And also amazing in his own way. Andrel, Bard of Time. Links to all their stuff is below. Join us next episode for some more Wheel of Time covering the Wheel of Time companion.
I really want you to say covering the letter B and make it sound so.
Let's see what we can find in the letter B. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
B is for butthole.
We'll figure it out. I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono.
And Tom.
Stay your man.
Keep the change of filthy animals.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.